there's one show from the 1980s that I've revisited more than any other. It's gotta be Magnum PI. This show is a huge part of my childhood, and honestly, I still have sort of a secret dream of moving to Hawaii, growing a big mustache, and becoming a private investigator. I just love the characters, the stories, I love the car, I love the perfect mix of drama and mystery, and of course, humor. It was kind of a perfect 80s show. Or maybe just a perfect show.
You're wonderful, Magnum.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Anyway, would you consider yourself a true fan of Magnum PI? I'm gonna ask you a few questions that not everybody knows the answer to, and let's find out. But I'll start out with an easy one. Can you tell me why Magnum PI ended up being set in Hawaii? Any guesses? Well, the answer has everything to do with a show called Hawaii Five-0. That long-running CBS procedural was coming to an end right as Magnum was starting, and because they didn't want to throw away the infrastructure they had built there and all the production facilities that were up and running, they decided to move Magnum there. And to be honest, this may be the one time I'm actually glad that a network decided to be cheap. Magnum was originally supposed to take place outside of Los Angeles, and it definitely would not have been the same show. Question number 2. Can you name the famous performer who actually made his last major on-screen acting performance in Magnum PI? I'll give you a hint. Blue, as in Old Blue Eyes. Sinatra, who was 72 at the time, was long since retired from acting, but he was a big fan of Magnum PI and also was good friends with Larry Manetti, who played Rick. And he let Larry know that he'd like to appear on the show. As soon as CBS and Selleck heard this, Selleck called him up personally and offered to have an episode written and tailored just for him.
She was my granddaughter. You slimy bastard.
The only prerequisite that Sinatra had is that he had to be able to beat people up in the show. He wanted to show that he still had it. In fact, there's a scene where his character grabs a random tough guy in a bar and pours a glass of water over his head while interrogating him. And allegedly, this was a scene that Sinatra completely improvised. The random guy was just an extra in the background, and the showrunners liked it so much they kept it in the episode. Question number 3. Can you name the early 2000s show that actually saw an unofficial Magnum PI reunion, and basically the only one we really ever got? Well, it's not just the name of a show, it's also the name of a city, Las Vegas.
Lord have mercy. I have traveled all over the world. I have never seen so many fine women in one place in my entire life.
Las Vegas, no place like it.
When Tom Selleck took over for James Caan in the 5th season of Las Vegas, he brought his old buddies Larry Manetti and Roger Mosley onto the show as guest stars.
There's supposed to be a third guy, too, some British billionaire.
Now, they didn't actually play Rick and TC, but just seeing the 3 of these guys together one more time was every fan's dream.
So long, big guy. Take care.
And your last question? How did Magnum PI end? Okay, well, this is a trick question. Because actually, Magnum had 2 endings. It was originally supposed to have its finale at the end of season 7, which sees Magnum mortally wounded, spending the last episode in a coma and walking around invisible and coming to terms with his fate, and ultimately walking off into the clouds and dying. The problem was, the fans didn't like this at all.
This is outrageous! Outrageous!
In fact, their protest was so loud that Selleck, who was ready to move on and just focus on movies, decided to come back for an abbreviated 8th season, retcon that ending, bring Magnum back to life, and in the end, he's reunited with his long-lost daughter and re-enlists in the Navy. So there you go. How did you do? Did you get them all? What else do you know about Magnum that I don't know? Oh, and actually one more question. Is Higgins Robin Masters?
Magnum.
For better or for worse.
You know what I told you about Robin Masters?
Or for poor.
Yeah.
In sickness and in health.
I lied.
Honor and obey. To respect and to